Alright, this video today is going to be a little different. It's not going to be your typical fishing vlog. It's going to be a tutorial. If you know how to throw a bait caster and you have no desire in learning how I learned how to throw a bait caster, you might want to click off this video, because today we're going to be doing a how-to on how to throw a bait caster. First thing, don't stick it in a fan. That's a bad idea. Don't stick your rod in a fan. But I want to just go over a little bit of my setups and things I do. I've got this set up on this is a 7-foot 2-inch medium heavy rod. I want something with a little bit of tip. I don't want something real short and snappy. And this is just a 1/2 ounce spinnerbait. I'm going to be doing most of this is going to be just standing in our driveway out here. I learned by throwing in my backyard. There was no water around. You don't have to be on a nice bass boat to learn how to throw a bait caster. I started by just casting at the grass, and then eventually, as I got better, I got more accurate. I started to put a bucket, and then all of a sudden the bucket became a little bowl, and the bowl became a little cup, and so on and so forth. That's enough talking. Let's get into the tutorial. Alright everybody, like I said, I got a 1/2 ounce Booyah spinnerbait on here. First things first is you're learning to throw a bait caster. The heavier the bait is, the better it's going to cast, and the easier it's going to be to learn on. So I recommend at least a 1/2 ounce lure, whatever that is, whether it be a jig, a spinnerbait, or just a worm with a Texas rigged weight on there. Alright, so you're going to notice a lot of bait casters nowadays have a little dial over here. These are your magnetic brakes. You need to know about feathering the spool. Feathering the spool is going to be done with your thumb, depending on which hand you like to cast. I'm left-handed, so it's my left hand. You can cast with your right and then swap hands. Minimum, obviously, that's going to be no magnetic brakes. They're completely disengaged. Maximum is going to be more. I typically like to leave mine on maximum all the time. But what I do first is I turn it all the way to minimum. And this is your beginner setup. You'll loosen this up as you go. But here you have your, this is how you tighten up your spool. You hear this click? And as you'll notice, my bait doesn't drop, or it drops super slow. As I loosen this, it's going to go faster. So what I want to do is I want to get it to drop not super fast, but just with very little resistance as it goes down. Okay, and you'll just have to play with that based on your reel. Every reel's a little different. And then once I get it to there, I'm going to open up this dial all the way over to maximum, and there you have it. So now I'm ready to make my first cast of the bait caster. What causes the backlash is whenever that bait stops and the spool continues to spin. So you need to know what we call feathering the spool. And when I cast, I will actually stop it with my thumb. You need to always keep a small amount of pressure on this spool, and that's the hardest thing with this bait casting stuff is just learning what it feels like. The first couple times you're either gonna, I can guarantee you're gonna put too much pressure or too little pressure. But it's just going to take a lot of practice. Now, as you're feathering the spool, you want to come back, you want to keep pressure. And another important thing is, if you notice the spinnerbait's got about 1 foot of line out, you don't want a lot of line, and you don't want your bait to go slack between your rod on the bait cast. So you're going to want to start off real slow. And the most important thing you could know when learning how to throw a bait caster is throw high. You want to throw it way higher than you think you should. If you try to throw it straight out in front of you, it's going to land about 10 feet in front of you in the water or on the concrete, and you're going to get a major backlash. So you're going to watch, I'm going to feather the spool, I'm going to come back real slow and throw it high. My release point is super high there. And as you notice, as my bait comes down, I'm always going to put more, the closer my bait gets to the water, I'm always going to put more pressure on that spool. When my bait hits the water, I want this spool to be completely stopped, and that's going to be the biggest key to getting out any backlashes. Now when you get backlashes, okay, I just gave myself a backlash there. I let it get a bunch of slack. I didn't put my thumb on the spool. You never want to reel up these loops in your line. That is just going to cause you a lot more trouble down the line. You're going to want to put your thumb on the spool, slowly pick it out. Don't allow any more slack to come in there until you get all your little loops out. Two, just looking at a clean spool again. You want to reel that line back up, because if you don't take care of it when it first happens, if you just reel it up and try to make another cast, you're going to cause yourself a lot more problems. Now, to line size, I would not start with braid. This is just what I had rigged up. This is 50-pound braid. I would start with 14-pound fluorocarbon. It's going to be a lot more forgiving. It's going to cast a lot smoother, and you're going to be able to cast a lot further. As you get more accurate with it, refine it down. Start trying to pitch at a tree stump and adjust. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you want to know next. I can, if this is successful and I get the request, I'll go into how to flip. If y'all want to know anything about spinning rods, if y'all want to know how to sidearm cast, if you want to know how to skip a jig under a dock, we can do that. The possibilities are endless, and all I need from you guys is feedback. Right now I'm looking for any ideas y'all have of what y'all want to learn. If there's something that you need a tutorial on that you cannot find a good video, if I can help, I will. So y'all let me know. This is going to be the first of this series. I would really like to get more in depth with it. I want to help you guys become better anglers, and take baby steps to get there. And hopefully soon we'll be teaching you how to skip a jig 20 feet under a dock and pull that big one out of there. So let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching.